talent-wise, I think you got great receivers. Talent-wise, Henny's a little touch
just
and
dropped
go.
him.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying for Brandon Marshall.
Okay,
But Brandon Marshall does get targets, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to probably say it's really a split between you two and probably Vols pulling up the rear. I would say. Just due to a little uncertainty, and I don't think Roethlisberger's bad. Felix Jones.
Well, Foster is known to tie, so
Felix Jones is not. My running backs are McFadden.
Yeah,
and Turner.
And DMC's solid. I mean,
yeah,
I hate the
but
Raiders,
I don't
but
like
he's
Turner. I never liked
Turner's been a little off this year, man. But DMC's been
healthy.
repping it, man.
Yeah, at least he's healthy.
he's been pretty solid. So I don't know. All in all, I mean, I really do think it's really anybody's game at this point.
I don't know.
Well, no, I would actually say between the three of you guys, I would actually give. I hate to say this, but I actually give Lump the nod from now. If Volzer, and I'm not doing this to bash trade it, before Volzer lost Romo, I would give it far and away to Volzer. Because I think Romo is going to be, if he would have stayed healthy, I think he would have been a top 5 quarterback by the end of the year. I think with Reggie Wayne, the receiver position, Hines Ward, high end number 2, low end number 1, running backs are stellar. I think with Michael Turner, he hasn't even, he's been playing at a lower level, so I think he's due for some big games. I think he has bigger games ahead of him than what he's had in the past. But because of the Romo injury, I think it puts Lump at number 1, because I think Lump's receivers have all underperformed at this point, and I think that they're all going to actually have bigger games ahead of them because of the talent level. You got Miles Austin, you got
Brandon Marshall,
and Anquan Bolden from the Ravens, and you actually, with your solid 3, I think are on paper, talent-wise, as the best receivers in the league by far and away.
Yeah,
and I think at some point they'll live up to the billing. It's just,
hopefully
they've started off slow. You have to start them every week. You have to.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I think fuckhead Flacco, all the shit we talk, I actually think that he's coming around, started off slow, but he's having decent games. I think he's a low to mid-round number 1. I think
that's all I wanted to. Thank you.
So I think overall, Lump out for you has the best shot. I think Vols, I give Vols the number 2. And Lewis, I give him a distant number 3, but with his fucking luck, I think that he's going to be right there with Vols. I think he just finds a way to pick up a waiver wire or just gets that sheer luck to make things happen.
Yeah.
So basically, Lump number 1, Vols number 2, Duke, sorry, buddy, but Lapdog number 3. Why don't we rotate? So propose a question, just ask a question, and we all have our opinion.
About
hot topic.
Hot topic. Okay. All right. Darren and Dennis's participation in the league this year. Volzer.
Is that just overall?
Just overall between free agent pickups, message board posts, chat room participation, pick'ems, everything. Just the whole thing.
I think that obviously the boards, they're lacking. They never post on the boards or anything. Dennis seems to be fairly up on the free agent wire, not probably as much as he should be, but he's on there decent. Darren, I know Darren's working a lot, but it seems like, man, he's just donated $400 this year. He's not making any effort to really.
He has the same smartphone as I do, and we can do the entire website from our phones.
Yeah.
I don't know how busy he. He has 2 smartphones. Yeah, but 2.
I don't get wanting to donate $400, but definitely benefited me last week with my 70 and getting a win, and that was, for my team, that was some major luck turnaround. Getting a win with 70 is crazy.
Yeah.
And
Roethlisberger having the lowest.
And Roethlisberger barely scoring more than Wayne. That was horrible. I agree. It's just my luck, but hopefully, if it's exactly. I'm thinking that next week my team may blow up, and so
that was huge to have the new acquisition post to 17 and still get a W. So
that's 70 points. All right.
I actually, it's funny that you bring it up. I just had a discussion in the chat room with Darren this Monday night about it, and he's hiding behind the fact that he's working out of town. He's working 6 days a week, so he's working 70 hours, and exactly that's why I said, hey, we up the fees in the league. It's $400. You got 2 smartphones. Your old lady was on the doing it for you. Hey, if you need to make her GM of your team and do the ads and drops when you're out of town, so be it. But obviously that was kind of my issue, is that I feel no disrespect to them, but if we're paying $400 to play in a league, I want people that are going to commit to it, that are going to make the typical ads and drops that they would off the free agent wire, so that you're taking away from other teams that already have a decent amount of talent, and those guys that are falling to them, they're able to get them and just solidify their team.
Yeah.
When in reality, that really shouldn't be happening. They're kind of giving you're hurting the rest of the league by not participating. That's my only issue with it. So.
Well, I have to agree with Duke on you're hurting the rest of the league when you don't participate. Yeah, I'm his lapdog. I'm a big-ass lapdog. Cut off your circulation. But anyway, no, I think that it offsets the league power because here's a perfect example. Brandon Lloyd. He's the number 1 receiver in the league. I picked him up on the waiver wire. Darren was ahead of me. Darren should have picked him up if he was doing what he should have been doing.
Exactly.
But he didn't
You're
pay
telling
attention.
me Darren's team couldn't use Brandon Lloyd right
Exactly.
now?
But the bigger issue is like Vols had a good point. He's donating.
Darren couldn't use Mike Sims Walker. I'm sorry.
No, I understand.
He
Go
didn't
ahead.
pick up Mike Sims Walker
Right.
this week.
But Volzer made a good point that Darren and Dennis
Away games.
are just donating $400. But the bigger problem is a team that's actually a strong team is getting a player that a shitty team should have got. Darren's team should have got Brandon Lloyd, not my team, which is at that point one of the 2 or 3 best records in the league. It shouldn't have happened if everybody was doing their deal. But then, so it's great for me, but then it's bad for the other teams that are behind me. They're going, wait a second.
Yeah,
3
but-
teams ahead of Foster should have got that player.
Because the waiver wire is in place to try to help the shitty teams.
Exactly.
That's the thing. That the waiver wire is
You wanna
set
give
up
Britt
the
a
way it
lesson on
is.
that?
Yeah, Britt. I mean, that's what it's there for. I mean, Darren, it's there to help the teams that need help to get the hot free agents, not to make power teams even more powerful.
I agree, and that's why we have.
But then, I mean, no news stories either. They can't even Google search an image and save it and fire a shot around somebody's bow, or it's just like with those guys, it's just you don't really get anything. But it is what it is. So.
And we got,
Same thing every year, I guess.
I think Tom's still in the park with underage girls with the glow sticks and
Yeah.
and
I think he's still at Burning Man.
I don't know. He's still popping Scooby snacks, dude, running around. I don't know. Yeah, Burning Man. I thought ended like 3 months ago, dude.
I mean, even Dan fires back. He's
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Dan hasn't participated anymore.
Do you actually see the trade offers? I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that is annoying. The
everybody-
trade, no response on the trade offer.
Yeah,
and
that
stuff.
gets me. Yeah, at
Dennis
least
says
deny
that
it,
too.
dude. At
Yeah,
least don't let it
Dennis
just
says
sit
that
there
too.
like you don't know it's. Oh, that guy's still thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
annoying.
at least make a comment. Maybe
Yeah,
the guy,
just
something.
reject it, something, but do something with it. Counter it, but.
Yeah,
Just to have it sit out there like you're not even checking. Tom really needs to do a better job of that, and I think Darren does too. I think Dennis has gotten better with it. But
Felt good to get it all out on the table, didn't it, Foss?
yeah, you feel better now.
I'm totally calm. But back to Mr. Nice.
He's totally gone.
Little
transformation.
Want to see it? I can get it riled up real quick.
Hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
Let's just bring him being locked off the message board in 2009.
Oh.
All right, well.
So anything else,
I think this
fellas?
Commish Message is definitely the longest one we've ever done.
Ever. It's going to probably be like a fucking
should have
four
Maybe round 3 here. I don't know.
point.
One more? All right, one more.
Worst draft pick in the draft this year.
Wow.
At this point in the season.
Wow, first worst draft pick in the draft so
Based
far
on
this
obviously
year.
what round you got him in, how they perform. It could be a lower round, higher round. Just depends how
Yeah.
shitty they've done.
Ooh.
I think I know.
Which one do you think?
I think Brett Favre.
Brett Favre, third round? Yeah.
Third was a third.
That is. That
Yeah,
was a
that-
bad
He
one.
took Brett Favre before Phillip Rivers.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
got Phillip Rivers at the end of the third round.
Wow,
Yep.
yeah, that's saying something right there.
Yep. I would have to. That's probably you're right. I think that probably is the worst. I don't know. MJD's been pretty bad too.
Yeah, I think MJD's good.
Yeah, Ray Rice has been pretty bad.
Those first round running backs
Yeah,
after
the top of the
AP.
draft. And even Chris Johnson really hasn't performed that
AP's been
great.
solid, man.
AP's been the most solid running back of the top 5
Why
that
the
were
hell is
picked.
Lada, was he 3-5 now?
Dude, I know Britt, man.
5 games.
He started out 3-0
5
and now
games.
lost
Yeah,
5
Britt.
in a row.
There was a lot of chirp.
Yeah, no
What's
more.
gonna happen?
I noticed no more Lombardi talk.
Yeah, what happened to Lombardi?
Where's Lombardi?
Lombardi. Hey, Briston,
Disappeared.
What's going to happen if you go dead last 3 years in a row, man?
Oh,
That's gonna be
Ooh,
ugly.
and that's a real
yeah,
possibility.
it is.
Yeah.
It's
He
a
faces the Molly Whoppers this week, and that's
Tough
pretty.
matchup.
Dude, have you seen his lineup, man? It's like everyone's hundreds down the board practically. All hundreds.
I got a feeling Britt
Keeping
might
it
pull something
100.
this week, though. It's a possibility.
Gonna squeak a win out?
He's due for one. He's due for some good luck.
Is
you know?
Vic back this week?
Yes, he
Yeah,
is.
Vic
I
is
got
back.
Vic's back in the mix.
What do you think about? I mean, the Molly Whoppers have had some high-scoring weeks, but they are up and down, man. So, what do you think happens when you get to the playoffs?
Down, really. They just,
Z wins every other week, generally.
no, yeah, generally, but I mean, lately he's been scoring pretty consistent, almost 120.
Well,
a week.
You get a black guy named Arian on your team. You gotta do pretty good.
He's been
That's probably the
he's
best
been the
pick
biggest
of the
sleeper.
draft.
I mean, we all knew that he was going to be a sleeper, but
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really expected him to be. He's like one of the top running backs.
He is
in
like
the
the
league.
top. Yeah.
So would you say
Point-wise.
Best draft pick this year?
I would almost say, yeah, I'd have to say. Where he got him, like 5th round, I think. The number one running
What
back.
round?
in the
What
5th
round was that? Fifth
Because the
round.
number one running back should be taken number one overall, right?
You might have even been deeper.
I think I got McFadden around there too, about fifth
Arian
round.
Foster.
Deeper than a 5th round, I think. I think he went even later than that.
He was 5th or 6th.
Yeah,
Because he took Arian and then LaShawn
Probably
McCoy.
yours, Brandon Lloyd.
Bam, bam, bam.
I think he's. I've seen him better.
Or Mike Vick, maybe.
Mike Vick or
I mean, other than the injury, but we'll see how he comes back.
Bounces
but-
back.
He bounces
the same
back.
way that he was playing before the injury. I would have
That
to
was
give
huge.
the nod to Vic if he continues that
Yeah,
for
I
more
mean-
than a few weeks.
It's tough, man. I mean, I've seen a better arm on a chair than Kyle Orton, but I mean, the dude.
Yeah, that's
producing,
pretty. He's
like,
been pretty
how he's
amazing this
doing
year.
it, I don't know.
That's really helped Sac Valley a lot.
No, I think he picked him on waiver
You have to
wire.
almost get like Dan. He almost offset his horrible, probably the worst pick in the draft
With
Brett
number
Favre,
for
by picking up a
Orton.
great waiver wire.
Dan obviously was
the
thinking
best
about other
waiver
things
wire.
in that draft, and his draft was rough.
Yeah.
But he bounced back.
Orton is probably the best waiver wire pickup all
He
year.
bounced back on the wire.
How about the creepiest guy at the draft, Dan?
Hey guys.
Well, Tom was a close second. I mean,
Well, just when he was downstairs dancing on the dance floor with the line, doing rave dancings to the line dancing music.
you know.
He just got back from Burning Man. You know.
Hey, Foles, I want to tell you that I was going to buy a fucking Tony Romo jersey, but they're $80, so I decided to go with the $15 T-shirt. So.
Well, you know, it made me feel better that you tore that up and tore the Romo poster up. It really did.
We
It
got
helped.
everything, all that repressed.
I'm good. Yes, I think. Well,
Yes,
the
I think.
repressed anger is out. I don't know about Foster. You may
Yeah.
still be holding on to that year ago incident. I don't
Still
know.
getting locked off the.
You got a lot more fired up about that than I did about your post, but
Man. Well,
But it is what it is.
so we'll see you guys back next week.
Hold on. You hear what you
oh,
just
it's
said?
not done.
Hold on. It is what it is. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, it is what
It is what it is. You can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. Foster, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Hey, Foster, you can't bullshit a bullshitter. This guy's got every fucking one-liner cliche in the
No,
book.
what was your one-liner? I said add it to the
Yeah.
list.
Oh, yeah. Volzer's 1 for 1 with his. Lump's like 8 for 8 now. It is what it is.
Not all the sort of
What's
linguists
wrong
like
with
you,
it? It
Foster.
is what it
No, it's
is.
just funny because all your one-liners are the most cliche, overused.
Well, that's
one-liners.
what you said last year when you waited to the last freaking game of the year to the last quarter to make the playoffs. When this is a marathon, not a sprint. When you were in like dead, you because you
Can you verify that?
yeah, in the message board from last year. You had hella. You're talking about it's a marathon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can't bullshit a bullshit. Foster, you can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time.
You can't.
Clearly can't.
I know,
but
clearly
it's funny
can't.
because always,
Brits-
he doesn't have one original.
you know.
He plagiarizes all his fucking one.
Britain can't run and jump over
Oh,
a
I have to say.
waist high fence. Say anything.
I am.
What do you say?
What?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to talk over you.
Oh, so we were talking about Lotta.
Nice.
He can't run and jump.
I'm responsible for every nickname that's ever been appointed in this league. That's a fucking fact.
Not Lump.
Now, during the league.
Oh.
Are you guys coming back at least for the start of the playoffs?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to be back, like maybe next week if I can, or
Nice, yeah.
I'll make some.
All right.
I was a little.
We gotta, after all this ranting is out, so we gotta actually get a real commish message.
I might feel better. I'm like 60%. I'm quitting next year.
So how do you know that there's
There's people more angry than I am.
I thought Volzer was going to be legit mad. I mean, going fucking crazy. So I was ready for a blowout, but I had like a halfway blowout, man. I was ready to start dancing.
That was only halfway?
We
That was
do,
nothing.
you know, there have been.
I was prepared for
road
Volzer to be all
rage
pissed,
sites
looking at us when he
of-
walked in. Fuck you, motherfuckers. But he wasn't. He was actually so it kind of defused.
You know I don't have an angry bone in my body. You know
Me
that.
too.
But you know.
3, 2, 1.
I'm so fucking
Hold on,
tired right
guys.
now.
Hold on, it's 7:30 p.m.
No, it's past his bedtime. I think this is the latest Foster's ever stayed up. It's 10:45, man. This guy's up.
Teabagged you, dude, when you were
He's
out
ready
in
to
the
go
sofa.
bed.
I don't know, man.
I saw those motherfuckers creeping. I woke up and saw Dad. I said, Dad, I'll choke your ass out for a fourth time. That's another thing.
Britton, where's your dad? All I need is to get your dad, and I've choked out the entire Britton clan. 3, 2, 1, begone, motherfucker!
All right, that's a good way to end this week's message.
Thank you for tuning in.
Congrats
once
to
again. The Pimps players.
Sac Valley players.
Sac Valley
to
players.